Welcome back. Okay, I learned how to make a very short introduction. My name is Laura. I am a Jiu Jitsu Academy owner, and I'm here to talk today about the fact that you decided that you want to make Jiu Jitsu your main gig, and that's excellent news. I'm really excited for you. And this video, we're going to talk about whether you should decide to open your own gym or continue working as a coach, or maybe just start working as a coach. The main reason behind this video is that you can make the best possible decision given all the options that you have. Whether you want to continue or start working as a coach or building your own gym, you can do both as long as you know both the pros and cons of it. So let's get started. But before that, I'm gonna tell you how did I decide to become a Jiu-Jitsu business owner. And the truth is that I did not decide that. The reality is that my business partner opened the gym ahead before I came on board. And his dream of opening a Jiu-Jitsu academy and the actual dream of owning a gym was always his own. It was never my dream. Maybe he became along the way as well, but it wasn't really mine to start. Personally, it took me a while before coming on board working in the gym. And that is because, if you recall last week when we were talking, I mentioned briefly that it's important to have your why very clear. Why do you want to do such a thing? And I think at the time, I didn't have a single clue of why would I want to own a gym. And it took me a little bit, but then whenever I figured that out, I eventually came on board. For me, it has never been in question whether or not I enjoy the administrative part, the operational part, finance, challenges, and everything that goes behind those curtains. And that doesn't take away the fact that I enjoy teaching. I don't do it as much nowadays, but I do enjoy it when I have the chance to do so. If you are still not sure whether you should maybe dip your toes first into teaching or opening your own gym, then this video is for you, and just keep listening. We're gonna go talk about all the pros and cons of both. I'm gonna start lining out the pros and the cons about continuing or starting your career as a coach. I'm just gonna read through some of the notes. I just wanna make sure I mention everything that I put down for this video. So let's get started. Being a coach, the most obvious pros is that it's a low risk career path, meaning that you don't have any upfront costs, okay? You don't have to invest a large sum of money. There's no that many risks, okay? So if it doesn't work out, you're not losing that much. There's no anxiety around it, like having to pay the rent at the end of the month or having to pay salary to your staff at the end of the month. There's also the fact that you get to learn into an environment at someone else's expenses. What do I mean by that? It means that if you honestly made a mistake, the ultimate person is always the gym owner. The responsibility always falls down the gym owner. You can learn a lot of new things as well with an experienced leisure manager. You can discover the ins and outs that goes behind the closed curtains. I love those closed curtains. You get a lot of less admin and a lot of more roll-ins. If you're teaching and coaching in somebody else's gym, and maybe you came from another gym, maybe you grew up in another gym setting, in another culture, something that might be considered as a con is that you have to follow someone else's vision, culture, and structure and values, okay? It's a must. If you take up a job there, you have to adapt to their culture. You cannot come over from the outside and impose your culture unless you are a really cool instructor, very famous. But I think that's something else that what we're talking about today. If lack of ownership, it's something that you think will bother you, then you can consider this as well as a con. Like, yes, you are the coach of that class, but they're not really your students, if you know what I mean. And lastly, I think that it's important to touch down is that you're paid hourly. It means that your earning is capped. You can earn as much unless you are free and able to teach private classes. You can also decide to increment your salary by doing extra activities like seminars or creating online content, but that is not obviously directly related to the gym. The gym will not be responsible for that. You are responsible for that extra earning that you want to create. Before owning a gym, I used to be a personal trainer for a short period of time, not really that long, but I did have other responsibilities, were also reception hours. So, covering reception, learning customer service, cash handling, how to close at night, as well cleaning. So a bunch of other things. And that was probably the best thing that happened to me before going full into business owner, because it gave me a solid background that I actually had no idea, because I was working in a complete different sector. I used to work many other things before doing this, and I had absolutely no idea what's like to manage a leisure center. So that part actually gave me a lot of inside knowledge and solid system that, not even lying to you right now, I still use today. So it was really a good stepping stone for me before going full on with the Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, let's talk about the hot topic of this video, and it's about the pro and the cons of owning a gym. Now, the very first obvious one is that you get to do whatever you want. Okay, you make the rules, you're the boss, and that can be good or bad. It really depends what is your personality like. If you are somebody that's very creative, then probably owning a gym, it's right for you. If you're somebody that values stability, then probably coaching for someone else, it's better. If you are unsure, you want to test the water, probably you should start coaching first and then going into business to open a gym. There's a few different options, but let's go back to the pros. Again, like we said, you get to build everything. And that goes from the culture of your gym, the vibe of your gym, the schedule, how many classes a week do you want to make, what kind of gym do you want to run, what do you want to focus on. You get to make all kind of sort of rules around the gym, like white kimonos only, black kimonos only no-gi. There's like infinite way that you can build your gym, and the ultimate decision and responsibility always comes down to you. And remember that people will come in because of you, and that's, I think, is a good thing. For me, is in the pros list. You are the main attraction of the business. You're under the spotlight all the time, unless you decide that you want to focus on admin and being behind the desk. And money-wise, your earning could be seen as uncapped, meaning that you can create multiple streams of revenue, and the sky's the limit, if you want to put it in that way. Now let's move into what is not so good about owning a business, which is a huge investment capital as you start up. So you're gonna have to invest money to buy or rent a place. That's probably going to be your highest expense, into mats. And remember, equipment is not that much. So I think that if you're putting on a scale, like opening a jiu-jitsu gym is not as expensive as opening another type of gym, because your only equipment is practically mats. Okay, so that's the only equipment you need. Good quality mats, padded wall, that's all you need. But anyway, going back, all those costs, like mat insurance, rents, legal issue, everything, you name it, that's in there. Plus the money you spend on Botox to fix the wrinkles that are caused you by owning a gym. I'm not there yet, don't look at me. I only get eyelashes extension. One more. Moving on, responsibility overload. What do I mean? I mean that you'll be responsible for everything. As much as you get to rule on anything, these are also all your ultimate responsibility. You're gonna be the receptionist, the coach, the cleaner, the social media manager, and a lot of the time you're gonna be also your student therapist at no extra cost. You are the boss. You are the ultimate responsible person. You are the most accountable person in the gym. And that translates into not having a safety net. So this is maybe something you want to think about it and take 5 minutes to think about that and really understanding what does it mean not having a safety net. I think personally for me, I'm no exception to the crowd. I did have my fair share of what the fuck moments, and we can talk about that in another video anyway. But the freedom and the challenge to have to think outside the box, to create something new, to see that what do you create actually is successful, seeing your student growing, seeing your student changing and transforming through Jiu-Jitsu, is something that is absolutely priceless. So whatever you want to talk about, all the cons and responsibility and stress, they're all fairly paid by all of that. There's never a dull moment. I am still thinking about it if it's a good or bad thing, but there's never a dull moment. What I wish I had when I started out is exactly this, okay? So somewhere I could look up and have accessible material to learn from. Yes, you can tell me that Gracie Barra, Alliance, Atos franchise are around from a long time, and that is absolutely true, but it also come with a very big upfront cost, which we did consider, I think, 2015, I don't really remember, but we did consider joining a big affiliation, a big name franchise, but it didn't really make sense at the time, and it wasn't really going to pay off all the investment that we had to make. So this is really what I wish I had: accessible content, somebody that could tell you about their experience so you can make a best informed decision. Now, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget, leave me a like, share with your friends, and whatever other thing YouTuber says, please do that, okay? And let me know in the comment if you are building your own tribe or if you're learning to lead under some guidance. See you in the next video.